Narrator, Alex Carter. Last time you witnessed an uprising, a community silenced by fear finally found its voice. Helicopters thundered overhead. Neighbors stood shoulder to shoulder, and the corrupt president's empire began to crumble. But today, we go to the final battlefield. Because when corruption is dragged into daylight, it doesn't surrender, it fights to survive. And only one side will walk away victorious. The Courtroom War. When Karen Mallister was dragged into court, the atmosphere felt heavier than any battlefield I'd ever walked. But instead of sand and dust, this ground was polished marble. Instead of rifles and radios, it was ruled by gavel strikes and legal documents. The courtroom was packed. Neighbors who had once hidden behind blinds now filled the benches. Reporters sat with pens ready, cameras flashing. Across from me sat Karen, her lawyer whispering frantically in her ear. She no longer looked like the queen of Maple Trail. She looked cornered, and presiding over it all was Judge Winslow, a veteran herself, a woman whose medals gleamed silently on the wall behind her. The moment I saw her eyes, I knew this wasn't just another case for her. She understood betrayal. She understood sacrifice. The federal agents laid out everything. Forged tax records, falsified votes, signatures copied so sloppily they still had the tracing marks. The crowd gasped when the screen displayed Karen's private email. Deployed soldiers are undesirable homeowners. We must cleanse the neighborhood. That word, cleanse, hung in the air like smoke. Mrs. Henderson stood, her wrinkled hands shaking as she held up photographs of my cottage, dated decades earlier. Mr. Daniels, the mechanic, places receipts on the witness table, proof of unjust fines. One by one, neighbors testified. And something incredible happened. The fear that once kept them silent was gone. In its place was outrage. They weren't just defending me. They were defending themselves and every family like them. Karen's lawyer tried everything. He claimed the documents were clerical mistakes. He argued that homeowners had misunderstood the rules. But every spin collapsed under the weight of evidence. At one point, Karen herself erupted, slamming her fists on the table. This is MY community. I built it. Without me, Maple Trail would be chaos. The courtroom went silent. Judge Winslow's gavel cracked like thunder. Her words had revealed the truth. Not leadership, but ownership. Not service, but control. While the court battle raged, another war was being fought outside. News anchors debated the case nightly. Social media hashtags multiplied. Hashtag Justice for Alex. Hashtag HOA Reform Now. Hashtag End Corruption. Veterans across the country spoke out. HOA victims from coast to coast shared their own horror stories. It wasn't just my trial anymore. It was a mirror reflecting a national problem. And Karen Mallister had unwillingly become the face of HOA abuse in America. Weeks passed. Each day, new evidence stacked higher. Each night, Karen's side grew weaker. And then came the testimony that ended it all. A whistleblower, Karen's own former board secretary, stepped forward. Hands trembling, she admitted, Karen ordered us to fabricate tax defaults. She told us soldiers make neighborhoods unstable. I stayed silent out of fear. But not anymore. The courtroom erupted. Reporters sprinted for the doors to broadcast the breaking news. Karen's face drained of color. She buried it in her hands. Judge Winslow rose, her voice steady, carrying the weight of justice. This is not only one of the most egregious HOA corruption cases I have seen. It is a direct assault on the very people who swore to protect our nation. The HOA known as Maple Trail Estates is hereby dissolved. Karen Mallister will face charges of fraud, forgery, and unlawful seizure. And to Mr. Carter, I order the immediate restoration of your property. The gavel fell. It sounded like victory. Returning to my cottage was surreal. The porch swing was gone, the walls cracked, but it was mine again. And this time, I wasn't rebuilding alone. Neighbors came with hammers, nails, and paint. Mrs. Henderson baked pies. Mr. Daniels fixed the wiring. The young mother brought her children, who laughed and played in the yard as we worked. For the first time, Maple Trail felt like a community, not an empire ruled by fear. But the fight didn't end with a verdict, because veterans groups, lawmakers, and thousands of ordinary citizens demanded more. Within months, legislation was introduced, Carter's Law, a law ensuring that no deployed soldier could ever again lose their home to predatory HOAs. When the bill passed, I felt something even greater than personal victory. I felt legacy. What started as betrayal had become transformation. As I sat on my rebuilt porch swing, watching neighbors wave and children laugh, I realized they thought they could erase me. But we proved something stronger, that truth, when spoken aloud, is more powerful than fear. They thought they could defeat a soldier, but they were wrong. We didn't just win with evidence. We won with unity. We won with light. If the story lit a fire in you, don't let it die here. Hit subscribe, share this video, and join me next week as I show you 7 strategies you can use right now to fight corruption in your community. Because justice isn't a story, it's a movement. Battle is won. The war for justice continues.